Hello, I'm Sabrina Bashir from the Decor Journal India. We are a platform curating content about architecture, interior design, and the construction community. Today, we're here to acknowledge and embrace the contributions and acclamations of female architects and designers. We're excited to have the interior designer Sapna Aggarwal join us today to discuss the importance of women in the field of design. Ms. Aggarwal has to her account the credit of designing the DG bar at Chala Camp, Najakot, and also the textured walls at Wagah border and Hussainiwala border in India, apart from so many more projects all around the world. We are very happy to welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, ma'am, we would like to get your insights on women's contributions to the industry. So, starting off, what does International Women's Day mean to you?
So I think women need to be celebrated every day and not just on one day. But it's just one day where we kind of acknowledge, honor women around the world, and actually we are acknowledging their contributions that they have made to the society. But on a daily basis, women make contribution to the society. So the celebration should be every day. It's just that one day to make them feel special.
I totally agree. All right, coming to our industry in particular. In your career so far, what gender-based challenges have you faced and how have you dealt with them?
I think when we are small as females, when we dive into this design career, we carry some false expectations. Coming from schools packed with our creative minds, we really expect that we will deserve the respect. We will actually, we'll just go through those painstaking plan design, and yet, when we follow them up, it only encompasses just a part of it. Once the drawings are completed and the renderings are built and approved, it takes a rigorous, tight scheduling, thick skin to get everything done. And now we are not just dealing with white-collar people, we are also dealing with contractors, builders, construction labor, who will really not treat you with respect that you deserve. But I think, unfortunately, very subtle or even open sexism is very common on building sites. It creates an environment that can, specifically in India, because I've been working pan-India right now, it can make you feel unfriendly or even hostile. And then I think we suddenly jump into those hero mentality of films wherein, how a hero will fight 10, 12 villains and in one scratch. So we kind of tend to become strong. We kind of tend to become tough. And somehow, somewhere down the line, I feel that it undermines my feminine qualities of empathy, of compassion, of intuition. So it really means that every woman who has risen to the top has molded herself into the existing culture by breaking through the ceiling. It's to reach that leadership position, we as women have chosen some male qualities to be a part of us. But genuinely, I would like that business should be very differently valued. I could genuinely be me. I could be compassionate, soft, empathetic, and still rise to the top. That, I think, would be my way to career ahead. So the challenges are everywhere. It's just that we have to mold ourselves. But that's how India works till now, that we still have to come into that. Not just India. I have worked internationally on so many projects. We have to, become thick-skinned and portray power before everybody so that we are taken seriously.
So it's an everyday struggle, I see.
It's an everyday struggle. There is no doubt about it. It's an everyday struggle. It's because on one end of the society, as architect and interior designers, we deal with the elite class. On the other end, we have builders and contractors who would not understand any other language except for that you become very strong when you talk to them. So we kind of struggle between being ourselves and being those hero modalities. Yeah.
Moving on, what does power mean to you? How would you define the idea of power?
To me, power is definitely not about control. Power is about balance. It's about managing issues. It's about managing people. It's about learning how to love people. That is power. If you can still be on the top and get love of every employee that is in your company, if you can still be on the top and earn respect, not because you are at a powerful position, because there you're actually valued, that means power to me.
More power to you. On that note, which powerful woman inspires you the most?
Undoubtedly, Sushmita Sen. You know, there are very few who will dare to live their own lives on their own terms. It's never easy. Perhaps I think even way too harder for women to chart out their own path, their own success, live the life by their own rules, dictate their own terms, survive every hardship. And I think Sushmita Sen, for that matter, lives like a boss. So that's what I love about her. I mean, the way she has bent her life, taken her own decisions, just not followed the norms of the society, but still earned a lot of respect is something really daring.
Now, wanting to know a little more about your journey, did you
Yeah.
always know that you wanted to be a designer? Or rather, what did you want to become when you were younger?
Truly, when I was young, I was very indecisive. I would be very honest, I would not have tried less than 50 career choices. And I'm not exaggerating here, before actually landing up to become an interior designer. So I remember I was always creative with my homework, with my artwork, with even the covers of my notebooks. But since I was a very curious child, I almost tried my hand at everything that the school and college offered. From gymnastics to swimming, from cooking to sewing, from commercial arts to painting, from music to Kathak, and from preparing to medical exams to learning paragliding. So I have had a wide experience. My curiosity really had no boundaries. So I would do how I was as a child was I would do and learn something so quickly that my teachers would always put me in the front row. So they will ask me to go for competitions, and that is where it would end. I would just leave it, and I was no longer interested. Once I was put on the first row, I was never interested. Once I started winning the competitions, I was never interested. So even after my graduation, I topped my university, and my professor counseled me to do post graduation. And knowing my trait, I would not stick to it. I had to do something else. So it was generally when I did this interior designing diploma that something rang a bell in my heart, and I knew this is what I wanted. Even after 2 years of doing the course, I still loved it. Even after 20 years of working on it, I still love it. So that is what I felt about it. That if I don't get bored doing designing day in and day out, I can do it day in, day night. So I don't get bored out of it. It's still so inspiring to me that this was something that actually rang with me.
We are so glad you haven't got bored of designing. And we really hope that you never do.
I will not, because I've tried a lot of career options before landing up to this. So I'm sure I'm going to stick to it now because I love it from my heart.
Glad. Now, as a woman, what is the one thing that you are most proud of doing?
I think I would not say I'm proud of doing one thing as being a woman. I think life has its own trajectory, and I've sailed on it like a great sailor. So every time the wave went down, I became from strong to stronger. And I remember so many incidences about it. I'm proud to be a wife, I'm proud to be a daughter in law, I'm proud to be a mother, I'm proud to be a creative director, and I'm proud to be in so many magazines. I'm proud to be a professor, I'm proud to be an author of a book. So there are so many things I'm proud of. But the one thing I'm proud of most is that, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, and when the road is trudging, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds have been low and the debts have been high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. The care is pressing you down a bit. Rest if you must, but you don't quit. So this is one thing I followed all through my life. I have never quitted on anything that I've decided on. So one thing I'm very proud of myself is that when I want to do it, I will. So it's from the feeling of becoming from strong to stronger is what keeps you going on. And things will keep happening. Life will obviously go down and up. It has its own trajectory to fall.
Great. So since we discussed that there is a significant gender difference and a gender bias in our industry.
Correct.
But again, with the world moving towards gender equality though, what do you imagine would be the challenges for women in the future?
I would say every decade we'll see a lot of change. So from the day present to a decade back and to a decade forward, there'll be a lot of changes. I think to the best of what I think, that somehow the whole responsibility rests on the shoulder of the mothers, because it's not that the world will not keep changing. In the last 10 years, the world has changed a lot. When we were young, we used to have those telephones which were wired, and then came the mobile phones with big card, wo visiting card wala ek card hota tha. And from how we use technology today, and how we are sitting across today and talking to each other, it doesn't even seem like that we are sitting in different rooms. It's not that the world is not changing. It's just about how we bring up our children that will move and reimagine what as husbands you think about your wives, as fathers you think about your daughters. Because say I'll take my example. About a decade back, I would say I would like to divide it into two worlds: my small world and a bigger outside world. So in my small world, I never faced any discrimination. I was raised by a father who believed that daughters have more priority than sons. I was allowed every possible thing a daughter can dream of, which I've already told you. Imagine a father allowing about 50 different career choices to a daughter. Imagine telling your daughter to do paragliding when in my age, about 25 years back. So that was a step. Today it's not something big, but 25 years
my
back,
parents still wouldn't let me go paragliding. So yes, a lot of respect to your father.
Would allow me everything. So is my husband. He also believes that I'm equally, or maybe to put it correctly, I am a more important part in the business. I have a brother who supports me and guides me even today in every possible way. So I've been surrounded by very, very strong men, and I have married to a stronger man. So I'm privileged not to have faced discrimination in my family at least. But as far as the world is concerned, truly, if your family is so supportive, I don't even care. But when I look at the larger picture across, I see a lot of women practitioners who run their own business. They are less in number. But while women architects and designers who have business with their partners are surely more. So that means they need the support of their partner to build a business. And it's not just in architecture and interior. I mean, you'll see a lot of couples working together, but females alone who have risen to the top are very few in number. I also see a lot of great women in academic world and a lot of women designers and architects working in offices also. But I feel discrimination is not just in this field, it's by large everywhere. Women have to work double than men to, come up to the same position. Till today, I think women are supposed to manage the household, kids, and make a career. It's not that they can forego of all the responsibilities and then only think about their careers. I think it's time to break that stereotype. I think, as I said earlier also, as a mother, I believe it's the responsibility lies in the hands of the mothers, who can train their sons to treat their wives as equals in all aspects, and not just as wives. So 10 years down the line, if we change today, our kids will change. If we don't change our thought process, if we think stereotype, then I don't see anything changing.
I totally agree. And this coming from a lady who's a wife, who manages a house, who's bringing up kids, I'm sure anybody listening to you is genuinely going to be inspired.
I hope so. I hope so.
Definitely. So now, looking back at what you've achieved over the years with such a long span in design in particular, what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself? Back probably when you were more confused about life.
I think I would learn to own my own mistake, because the only thing that has taught me all through my life is my own mistakes. You can't learn anything from a mistake until you admit it, and until you have made it. Until you have made that mistake and learned how to overcome it, there is no learning coming in. So I think take a deep breath, admit to yourself, and take the ownership. You can inform, you can learn more from it, you can apologize, you can work on a solution, but you will only work on a solution if you have a problem. So I think to my younger self also, I would like to say that it's important to acknowledge your mistake and learn, rather than keep not admitting to it. So it's easier if you own up. A solution will always come from a problem. It will never come to your mind otherwise else.
Thank you so much. That is genuinely great advice from somebody who's seen the world and done so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was such a pleasure to have you on our platform, and I'm glad I could do this with you.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.